Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to talk about some fall lawn care tips, and we'd like to thank Chad DeHart for liking and sharing the podcast. And Cindy is finished with book 15,
Woohoo.
And we're getting ready to send it to the editor. Lawn care wasn't popular until the late 1800s. One of the first books on lawn care was published in 1870 in the U.S. The patent for one of the first real mowers was in 1868 in the U.S., and most American homes at the time didn't have a front yard. They'd have a dirt path to the front door, and the front lawn would be filled with edible plants, flowers, and herbs. The USDA had a lawn growing display at the 1876 World's Fair to encourage homeowners to grow a lawn around their home. There are two main types of grass, warm season grass and cool season grass. Cool season grass like bluegrass, rye, and fescue tolerate cold winters and they grow in the northern states. Warm season grass like Bermuda, Bahia, St. Augustine, and centipede grass tolerate warm climates and they grow in the southern states. Your fall maintenance is going to vary depending on where you live and the type of grass you have. The University of Florida says a routine that you should have twice a year for a healthy lawn is sharpening your lawnmower blade so it cuts grass cleanly. A dull blade will tear grass, making it more vulnerable to disease, sun damage, and insects. After sharpening your mower blade, use a lawnmower blade balancer to make sure the blade is balanced, because an unbalanced blade can damage your mower. And at the hardware store or home center, you can get a 2-part tool that you put your lawnmower blade on.
Right.
And that way you can tell whether it's balanced. And if one side is lower than the other, you'll sharpen that side more to balance it. And after you sharpen your mower blade, clean the deck under your mower. If you have a buildup of grass on a mulching lawnmower, it's not going to mulch properly. And you can also use a deck spray to help prevent grass from sticking, and it's going to protect metal parts from corrosion. You can use a file, a sharpening stone, a belt sander, or a handheld sharpener to sharpen a lawnmower blade. And some top-rated handheld sharpeners come from Smith's. It's SMITHS, Arnold, ARNOLD, and AccuSharp, ACCUSHARP. Some top-rated lawnmower deck sprays come from Tight Seal. It's TITE, capital SEAL, Gunk, GUNK, Arnold, ARNOLD, and Modec, MO, capital DECK.
Cool.
If you're thinking about purchasing a new lawnmower and you've been bagging your grass clippings, a mulching mower is going to make mowing easier and it's healthier for your lawn. Michigan State University has been researching lawn health for over 20 years, and they recommend using a mulching lawnmower and leave the clippings on your lawn. The clippings release moisture and nutrients back into the soil.
My mom hated grass clippings on the lawn. She always made us bag it. That stunk. She never mowed the lawn, by the way. But,
Did you have a mulching mower or just one that
Yeah.
Okay. New mulching mowers really do a great job of cutting up the clippings very fine.
Right, yeah.
And
This
it's hard to
was a
see.
while ago.
Right. And if you mow your lawn when it's dry,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get clumping. Missouri University says grass clippings can provide up to 25% of your lawn's total fertilizing needs. Plus, they feed microorganisms in the soil. Healthy microorganisms and worms will help prevent a buildup of thatch.
Ugh, you and the worms. What is thatch?
It's a layer of living and dead stems, leaves, roots, and debris that can accumulate on top of the soil. It can restrict air, water, and fertilizer if it's too thick. And if you're in an area with high moisture, thatch can contribute to lawn disease. So you want healthy soil with abundant microorganisms and worms, and they're going to break down thatch and break down the nutrients so your lawn can absorb it easier.
Right.
The University of Missouri recommends mowing cool season grass to a height of 2.5 to 3.5 inches long and warm season grass to 1.5 to 2.5 inches long. They say keep cool season grass long all summer so you have deeper roots. It's going to reduce the amount of watering needed, and longer grass will reduce the amount of weeds that will germinate. Warm season grass should be mowed at the lower heights in spring to remove dead leaf and stem tissue and speed up greening. Slowly increase the height over summer, and in fall mow to 2 to 2.5 inches for a thicker lawn. And mow with a mulching mower when the grass is dry so it's cut into small pieces and you're not going to get clumps of grass on top of your lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to Green Machine about some of the new technology for cordless mulching lawnmowers. They have a cordless push mower and a cordless self-propelled mower, which is pretty cool. It uses a 62-volt, 4-amp-hour battery, and they both have brushless motors. The brushless motors are going to give you more torque, right. And they say they have performance like a gas mower, but you don't need gas, oil, or spark plugs, and they're going to be quieter than a gas mower.
That's good.
They said their mowers will give you about a 45-minute run time, and because there's no oil or gas, you can store it vertically, and that's going to reduce the storage space. They said their mowers can mulch, discharge from the side, or bag the clippings.
Cool.
Yeah. You can check them out at greenmachineusa.com. That's GREENMACHINEUSA.com. And some other top-rated cordless mowers come from Ego, EGO, Greenworks, GREEN, capital WORKS, and Works, WORX. Another thing you can do for your lawn is to mulch up fall leaves with a mulching lawn mower and leave them on your lawn. It's going to improve the soil structure and increase the amount of worms and microorganisms in the soil. And worms will come up to the surface and pull these shredded pieces of leaves down into the soil. Mm-hmm. It's going to aerate your soil with their tunnels, and their waste is full of nutrients and bacteria that's healthy for your lawn.
So excited, JC.
Michigan State University has been studying the effects of mulching fall leaves for years. From their research, you can mulch up to 6 inches of leaves into the soil. They recommend keeping a mulching lawnmower set to a cutting height of around 3 inches and make a few passes every week over your lawn. That's going to help break the leaves into small pieces. Mow when the lawn is dry to prevent piles of leaves. You want small pieces spread all over your lawn. It's going to sift down into the grass, and it will be unnoticeable in spring.
Cool.
If you get large amounts of leaves over a short period of time, so if you have a lot of trees, you can alternate mulching and bagging the leaves each week to prevent smothering your grass. Mm-hmm. You can use the bagged leaves for a compost pile or use them in a garden bed, or you can use them as mulch in landscape areas. Not mulching leaves or leaving them in thick piles on your grass can block sunlight, air, and water, damaging your grass and making it more susceptible to rot and lawn disease. Michigan State University found that over a 3-year period of consistently mulching leaves, less dandelions and crabgrass germinates.
Cool.
Texas A&M University says mulching leaves into your lawn reduces evaporation of moisture in the soil, it inhibits weed growth, it moderates soil temperature, and improves soil structure over time. Leaves contain 50 to 80% of the nutrients that the tree extracted from the soil, and then that's broken down by microorganisms in the soil so it can be absorbed by your grass. They say depending on the amount of leaves that you mulch into your lawn, it can provide up to 50% of the nutrients that your grass needs.
No way.
Wild, huh?
It is.
If you plan on raking up leaves, a rake with wide plastic tines is going to be lightweight and easy to control, and a lightweight plastic rake is best for dry leaves. A leaf rake with metal tines works well for wet leaves, and it can also be used for dethatching your lawn.
Right.
If you're tall, get a long handle so you don't have to bend over. A cushioned handle can be comfortable, but you should try it first in the store to make sure it's not too thick. I would wear gloves also when I'm raking. True temper, because I get blisters easily.
Your skin is delicate?
I do. I have delicate hands. True temper, it's TRUE, capital TEMPER. Ames, AMES. Corona, CORONA. Fiskars, FISKARS. Craftsman, CRAFTSMAN. And Bully Tools, BULLYTOOLS. All have top-rated leaf rakes. If you have a lot of leaves in your yard, driveway, or sidewalks, a leaf blower is going to be much easier and faster than using a rake.
Yep.
In your yard, use the blower to move leaves away from trees and shrubs first, then work from the outside of your yard to the center and make multiple piles of leaves rather than trying to move a huge pile all across your yard.
Mm-hmm.
If it's windy, work with the direction of the wind.
Yeah.
Blowing the leaves into a tarp is going to make it easier to fill lawn and leaf bags or move them to a compost pile.
Mm-hmm.
Wear goggles to protect your eyes. If you're using a gas blower or for any equipment that's over 85 decibels, wear earplugs or earmuffs. And use a shallow angle and a sweeping motion when you're moving the leaves with a blower. You're going to have more control and you're not going to kick up as much dirt and dust. Some top-rated cordless leaf blowers: Greenworks, Ryobi, RYOBI, DeWalt, DE, capital WALT, Ego, Works, Toro, TORO, and Green Machine. Some top-rated electric leaf blowers: Toro, Works, Black & Decker, and Sunjoe, SUNJOE. I spoke to Jake Chelfin. He co-wrote the book How to Hack Country Living, and you can check it out on Amazon if you're thinking about moving from the city and buying a home in the country. The book has tips on buying, maintaining, and enjoying a home in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Jake works at Laurel Valley Soils, and he recommends if you're in an area with cool season grass to aerate, overseed, and top dress your lawn with compost in the fall. Core aeration removes plugs out of your lawn, and they're about a ½ inch diameter and about 3 inches deep, and these holes will loosen up compacted soil and allow organic material to get into your soil to improve the soil structure.
Mm-hmm.
Most lawns are going to benefit from core aeration once every few years, and you can rent a machine from a home center or a rental store or have a company do it. If you have very sandy soil, it can't draw out a core, so you've got to keep adding organic material till you bulk up your soil a little bit. And if you have very compacted soil or heavy clay soil, you could be doing this every year to help loosen up your soil. If you're in an area with warm season grass, early summer is the best time for core aeration. If you're renting a machine, be aware of the location of low voltage wires for landscape lights, underground sprinklers, and cable lines. You can call 811 or go to call811.com. That's CALL, the numbers, 811.com. And they'll come out and mark all the underground utilities. Some of the cable lines are very close to the surface.
Yeah.
And if you aerate your lawn, this is a good time to overseed it.
Are you going to explain that?
Overseeding, so you're just adding new grass seed to your existing lawn.
Thank you.
As grass gets older, it doesn't reproduce as fast, and your lawn can get thin and patchy, which allows more weeds to grow. To keep cool season grass thick, you can add grass seed every few years. Pennington, the grass seed company, it's PENNINGTON. They say if you've just aerated your lawn, let the plugs dry out where they fall. They're going to break down.
That's easy enough.
Yeah, right. It's going to add soil and organic matter to your lawn. And by overseeding right after you've aerated, the seeds are going to make contact with the soil from the plugs, and some seeds are going to get into the holes you've created, and it's going to help the seeds germinate.
Because they have to touch soil.
Right. If you didn't aerate, but you want to overseed, you're going to mow your lawn first and bag the clippings. That's going to help get the seeds down to the soil, and then you'd want to mulch the rest of the year. Rake your lawn well to get up thatch and any debris on top of the soil, and this is a good time to use a rake with metal tines because it's going to pull up debris better. Use a spreader to put down your grass seed, and the bag is going to have the setting for your spreader. It's usually about half the amount of seeds that you would use to patch a bare spot.
Right.
And pick a grass seed that matches the area of your lawn, either sunny, sun and shade, or shady grass. And drought-tolerant grass is not going to require as much water to stay green.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get your grass seed down, you want to water it in so it touches the soil. If the seeds don't touch soil, they're not going to germinate. Then mist your lawn 2 times a day for about 2 weeks. If the seeds or the seedlings dry out, they die.
Bummer.
Fall is a good time to patch bare spots if you have cool season grass. You're going to rake the area well to rough it up, add a small amount of starter fertilizer, then add your grass seed. You want about 10 to 15 seeds per square inch. You're lightly going to mist the area so they don't move around, and then you're going to mist the area 2 times a day for 2 weeks. The University of Arizona says fall is a good time to overseed common Bermuda grass with perennial ryegrass, and that's going to keep a warm season lawn looking green in winter. So this is good for transitional areas where it's in the middle of the country, so that ryegrass will come back every year. If you're in a hot southern area, that ryegrass will die out in summer, but if you like it looking kind of green, you can overseed it with perennial ryegrass.
Cool.
Champaign University says adding a top dressing of compost yearly is going to improve the soil structure of your lawn over time, increasing microorganisms, worms, controlling the pH of the soil, reducing the amount of fertilizer and water you need for healthy grass. Apply a top dressing of compost in the fall for cool season grass and top dress warm season grass in spring. The University of Tennessee says if you have Bermuda grass, by applying a top dressing of compost only about 1/8 of an inch thick is going to help your lawn handle cold temperatures.
Interesting.
When I spoke to Jake, he recommends using a top dressing with a high-quality screened compost and add 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch to your lawn. You can put the compost into a wheelbarrow and use a shovel to fan it out over your lawn, or you can use a compost spreader and rake in any areas that are covering your grass. There's a company called Landzie. It's Landzie. They have a compost spreader. So this is a round mesh roller that you fill with compost. It has a handle, and it spreads the compost evenly over your lawn.
Cool. I think you've said top dressing like 67 times, but you want to explain what it is?
So a top dressing is just a thin coat of organic matter that you put over your lawn. Compost is usually recommended. It's going to work into the soil over time, feeding worms and microorganisms. It helps break up clay soil, and it helps sandy soil hold more nutrients and water. But this is something that takes a long time, so it's something that you would have a routine and do this year after year.
Right.
Purdue University says cool season grass will benefit most with a fall fertilizer. It's going to help grass recover from summer and toughen up cell walls for cold temperatures. You want to stop fertilizing most warm season grass before September. Michigan State University recommends using an organic fertilizer. Your lawn is going to get a slow release of the nutrients. It's going to be broken down by the microorganisms in the soil. It's going to stimulate and feed microorganisms. It's going to help the soil structure and the soil health. It increases water holding capacity and adds more micronutrients than synthetic fertilizers.
Cool.
Some top-rated organic fertilizers come from Safer, S-A-F-E-R, Espoma, E-S-P-O-M-A, and Jonathan Green. It's J-O-N-A-T-H-A-N, capital G-R-E-E-N. Safer's Lawn Restore has feather meal, soybean meal, blood meal, alfalfa meal, and molasses in it.
I don't have any idea what any of those are.
Espoma, Their fall winterizer has feather meal, pasteurized poultry manure, and sulfate of potash in it. And Jonathan Green's organic lawn food has feather meal, soybean meal, molasses, and wheat in it. The University of Nevada says organic fertilizers are a good slow-release fertilizer with micronutrients for your lawn and a food source for the microorganisms in the soil. The organic matter will improve the soil's water-holding capacity, improve aeration and drainage, and improve your soil's structure. The University of Maryland says be wise and don't over-fertilize. Many states now have fertilizer restrictions for homeowners. Maryland, for example, doesn't allow lawn fertilizer with phosphorus. They say the soil in Maryland has enough phosphorus for healthy grass, and adding excess phosphorus gets into storm drains, streams, and rivers, and this causes excess algae blooms that can rob water of oxygen, and it threatens underwater life. Lawn fertilizer isn't allowed to be applied between November 15th and March 1st in Maryland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, interesting. I found 11 states with laws that have a ban on phosphorus for lawns. So when you're looking at a fall fertilizer, the old formulas used to always have phosphorus in it, and that was for root growth. So there's 3 numbers like 20, 8, 8. That first number would be the amount of nitrogen, the second number phosphorus, the third number potassium. So if you're looking at bags now and that middle number is 0, there's probably a law in your area that says you can't have phosphorus.
Interesting. Do you have anything else to add?
We'd like to thank Green Machine and Jake Chalfin for helping us with some tips this week. And you can check out Jake's book. It's called How to Hack Country Living on Amazon.
Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our ebooks, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 14 on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow Cindy on Twitter @FixitCohost, and you can follow us on Instagram, Fix It Home Improvement.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.